Pondliner.com and No Limits Power Sports are proud to present Natural Waterfalls with Robert Stapleton. Join us for a half hour of time-tested techniques and secrets from premier waterfall artist Robert Stapleton. Robert will show you everything you need to know and demonstrate the tools and products you will use to build a truly spectacular water feature in your very own yard. And now, Natural Waterfalls with Robert Stapleton. This time, Robert is on his way to Parker, Texas, just northeast of Dallas in the Natural Waterfalls bus to visit with Jerry and Donna at their home. They've asked Robert and Natural Waterfalls to build a water feature in their backyard near the house. As they approach, Robert can already tell there is plenty of room for something special, requiring a large Natural Waterfalls crew. A staging area is chosen and truckloads of materials are brought in for not just a spectacular water feature, but walkways and viewing areas as well. Also, Robert is excited to be working with 4 other artists this time: Brandon Van Est, Clay Bain, our students Jack Coffey and Land Tech, and head instructor Dustin Wise.
Hi, I'm Robert Stapleton, and I'm here with Brandon Van Est. Now, Brandon is a graduate of my waterfall school in 2000 from Colorado. And Brandon, you've done over 200 features.
That's right.
And you know, we've got 3 artists here that are going to be working with me with the students on this project. So we've got a lot of artistic ideas, a lot of collaboration of fantastic visionary people, Brandon being one of them. Now, you know, last night when we talked about this feature, I didn't sleep at all. No, I am so excited about what we're going to do. But the very first thing we've got to do is we've got to paint out our area of grass that we're going to remove, and then we're going to come in and paint all the pathways and some of the different areas, because we're going to have 8 people working on this project at one time. Lots of things are going to be happening very fast, so we'll kind of have an outline. To do that, we're going to use paint. Now, we've got some different colors here. What do we got?
Well, Robert, we're going to use the white. We're going to paint that out for our general excavation, removing the sod.
Removing the sod and the pathways.
And the pathways.
And the pathways, right.
We have blue paint, and that's going to signify our water.
Blue is always water.
We have green, which is going to be our plant material.
Right.
And then we have our yellow, and that's going to be our stone.
The area of grass to be taken out is outlined quickly with our paint, and then our sod cutter is brought in to neatly cut out rows. The sod is then peeled with shovels and rolled up, placed on pallets, and removed using our bulldogs from Chapman Sales and Rentals.
Friends, let me tell you a tip here that's going to save you a lot of time and money. Remember, you're only as good as the tools and equipment that you use. Now, Seymour Industries out of Seymour, Indiana makes this tool brand, which is called Structron. They make the finest rakes and shovels out there, bar none. I've been doing this for 20 years. If you've ever bent a shovel or broken a handle, you'll never have that problem with this type of tool. It is absolutely phenomenal. Now you can see we're working at a feverish pace to get all of these impediments and all the rest of the sod out before it starts raining. Once this is accomplished, we're going to start mapping our project out with all our different colored paint and all our different colored lines. Wow, is this going to be awesome? And this is totally different than what we had first talked about just a couple hours ago. See, we just got together and artistically put all of our creativity and all of our designs together to come up with something that we hadn't even thought about, not even yesterday. We're going to have an elevated pond going down into a stream, into another pond, and now the waterfall has got much larger with some neat things that's going to happen behind it. We got a lot of dirt to bring up. We've got a grade that's flowing away. We've got to bring it up because everybody knows water doesn't run uphill. It's got to run downhill. Okay, friends, as you can see now, we're bringing this soil up quite a bit. We're going to be building the waterfall here. We're going to have an elevated pond, but there's some very important preparation that we've done for this soil. You just can't bring in any old soil and just build off of it. What are some of the key things that we've done here, Jack, to get ready for these big stones?
We brought on between 6 and 8 inches of soil, wet it down, compact it, bring in another 6 or 8 inches, compact it. You always want to do it in 6 and 8 inch increments.
Boy, that makes it really solid. If you just come in and bring in a whole big load of dirt and then try to compact that, the top will be compacted, but you'll have air pockets all underneath there, won't you?
That's correct.
Now, I noticed too, we've pulled out a lot of roots out of all of this soil. Why have we done that? A lot of people would just leave them in there.
Well, they'll break down and decompose. And if they do that, then the soil will settle after they decompose.
Right. And then one thing we don't want to do is have any settling or shifting of these stones. This is looking great. I can see they're bringing some more soil. Let's go.
Not only is our project growing in height, but our artists decide to create yet another pond to enhance the feature's already sprawling quality, not to mention more sound. Now as we dig our 2 ponds, we begin to realize we have double the opportunity for creativity and start to imagine ways to differentiate one pond from the other. Clouds are growing darker above us though, and as both ponds are being shaped, a load of gravel from our locally contracted stone yard arrives just in time to beat the rain. And after 2 days of strong thunderstorms, our creative team tells Robert about their plan to have different levels to support different types of stone come up and out of one of our ponds, creating caves and a beautiful layered look. Robert loves the idea.
Now, we've got a lot of work to do because we lost a couple of days due to the rain, but we've got perfect weather today. The temperature's perfect. There's not a cloud in the sky, and we're going to rock and roll. Now, one of the things you'll notice is we've got a bunch of paint lines here on the dirt. We used a laser level this morning to make sure that all of the pond area around the sides were perfectly level. We're going to come in and do a final clean of the inside of the pond, install our wet newspaper, yes, wet newspaper, our geo and our liners, and then we're going to start bringing in some big stones.
All right, take copious notes, everyone. It's time for school in our open-air classroom as our artists teach students and even each other some finer points of water feature construction.
Okay, Gustavo, what we're going to do is we're going to fill in this void right here that we've had a little bit of the wall collapse. So what we're going to do is take this soil that's a little bit moist, we're going to pack it in there. Make this really smooth like it was always been here. There we go. Can't even tell it was missing.
Jack, we've got an exposed sprinkler line here, and one of the things we've got to do is we've got to get rid of it. Keep in mind that when you've got your liner that goes into the pond, there's a lot of weight and pressure that is pushed out. It could easily push the liner up against us and puncture it or damage it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this shovel, so we're going to come back in and go 1.5 inches, 2 inches back into the hill. We're going to expose it. We're going to come in and cut it. Remove it, and then we're going to take all this excess material and we're going to fill it back in. And you'll never have to worry about this again. That's the way to do it. Cool. Well, looks like we got a couple more. Jack, why don't you take care of those?
Okay, Jack, what we're going to do is we're going to lay out this newspaper so we can put it as a paper mache through our pond over here. And what this is going to do is it's going to cover up any kind of rocks that's down in it. It's going to protect our liner. It's also in some of the sandy areas that we've got over there. It's going to give it more support. We're going to double up on it and make it extra thick for it'll harden as a nice shell. All right. All we got to do is get this soaking now so it'll lay in real nice and easy.
And how long do you leave them in here for?
We're just going to leave it in here for just a couple seconds until this gets filled up. We don't want to leave it too long or it's going to end up falling apart.
So when we finish, it's pretty much going to look like a piñata?
Exactly. That's exactly what it's going to look like.
What is a geo used for? How do we protect our liner from being ruined by the huge stones we use to construct our feature? And most importantly, how will our feature take shape as we continue to design it as we go? More surprises when Natural Waterfalls continues. Welcome back to Natural Waterfalls. Our first pond is looking sharp with its coating of newspaper, and it's time for our products from pondliner.com. Our geo, shown here, goes in over the newspaper. Both of these layers are to protect our liner.
I'm trimming the geo back 1 foot for an overhang. This will allow us to go over our 2-degree slope to keep all the rainwater away from our feature.
Then we take our shoes off. That's right, our shoes. Jack, our Land Tech student, will explain shortly. We fit the geo into our pond and surrounding area. Our liner must be stretched over our pond and an area at the base of our mound, then fitted to match the pond and ground shapes as closely as possible.
I tell you what, it's very important that you do not wear shoes when you put this rubber liner in. The purpose is that this way, without your shoes, you can feel if there's any sharp objects protruding, that potentially could put a hole in the liner.
Alright guys, by taking all these small little folds and creases right here and folding them together into one bigger one, it makes for a lot cleaner, a lot nicer installation.
Okay, Gustavo, what we're doing is we're trimming this liner about a foot back, at least a foot. So we have a lot of overhang so the rainwater and stuff will not get back underneath our liner. And as we're making this cut, this becomes our scrap liner to put down on the bottom when we set rocks on. That way it protects our virgin liner. We want to make extra cushion so we don't take any chances to damage that liner.
And now, our artists can really have some fun setting stones. The object is to match the lines of the stones in such a way as to imply they had been one large stone or formation of boulders that had over time eroded and broken apart to become what we see. It's called the four-stone method. At this point, two of the sizes are placed, the larger river builders and the smaller cobbles.
Alright guys, we're just laying down our smaller river cobble. And we just want to randomly put them in there. Try to match lines up as much as you can. But you also want to leave gaps in between them because we're going to come back with even smaller material to put between it.
Brandon is, of course, laying scrap liner under each of the large stones to protect our liner. Before long, it's time to set our skimmer. We test fit the skimmer in relation to the height of our pond's water level, which we determine with our laser level. It's important for the skimmer to be level with the water's surface to be functional and attractive. The water should flow in just below the top of the skimmer port. But what does a skimmer do exactly?
Well, the skimmer takes the debris that gets in the feature and skims the floating debris from the top of the water off. And inside here we have a little flap. It's called a backwash flap, and it keeps any of the debris, once it's trapped in here, into the basket from coming back out. And it also has a filtering system that you can service and clean from any of the debris that it catches.
Keep in mind that even though we're filtering, all natural waterfalls are built without the use of cement or chemicals. Next, it's time to attach the liner to the faceplate. When smoothing it out, make sure there's a little slack at the bottom so water pressure doesn't tear the liner. Find the faceplate pegs and punch through, then cut a 3-inch slit in the top to accommodate the flange on the plate.
Okay, so as you can see, the screws that we use don't have a tip on it, and it's not going to penetrate through the liner. So we have a small drill bit here that we can actually go through the faceplate and attach the screws without spinning or tearing the liner. So we're going to poke a hole through it and then attach the screw.
And this is important that this does not move, especially after you put the hole in it.
Not going to tighten it all the way. We're just going to get the screws started. And we're going to work our way all the way around.
And how is our second pond coming? Notice there is a team digging this shelf, saving time and effort. But what is the shelf for?
What we're doing here is cutting a shelf in so we can put some shelf stone for the fish to be able to hide underneath. We're going 9 inches down and 7 inches back into the wall. And like everything else, we're doing a 2-degree taper to the back to give it structural support.
One of the things that's very important when you do a water feature like this is you've got lots of areas to sit, relax, and view it. And we've got a couple of really large natural bench stones that we're going to be setting. I could go to bed right here. We can take a nap. Great. Perfect. Okay.
We have a lot of our big boulders in the pond right now, so we're taking a little bit smaller cobble to fill in some of the voids and to get a little bit of a stability going up vertical walls. So after we do this, we'll come in with even smaller rocks and work down until we get down to like a sand.
Another example of the four-stone method. Large cobbles being stones that you use 2 hands to pick up to large enough to use a machine. And smaller cobbles being small enough to balance in 1 hand. We'll talk about the other 2 general sizes soon. The taper on this shelf, remember, is 2 degrees and goes toward the back. That is to say, the edge of the shelf is slightly higher than the point against the wall, so the shelf stones won't slide off the shelf, but instead nestle against the wall solidly.
I'm using this sand as a filler to get a perfect 2-degree slope to the back. You can see that's right at 2 degrees. That's perfect for us to build off of.
This formation Clay and Brandon are setting will be a cave for our fish, or a light can perhaps be placed in it. Notice how the stone lines match so well. Robert is pleased. Next, Robert offloads materials for our walkways. The extending fork on this machine from Sunbelt Rental is impressive and practical. Sunbelt really did us a favor by providing it. Meanwhile, we paper our second pond. And it comes together beautifully after the geo, liner, and scallop shelf are all added. And as we begin to dig our stream, Brandon discovers the stone he wants to use.
So what we're doing is we're going to pick up this rock right here, which is going to work great in the stream. And we're picking it up, we're going to put it in place, just kind of set it down there so we kind of get a visual.
The project's atmosphere is taking on some excitement now as both ponds and our stream take shape. Final touches such as wood are brought in, and Duncan Electric is on the scene. Our hill grows even larger. Here, Robert navigates a steep angle as he continues to pack our mini mountain down. Duncan Electric soon has the power to our pumps and lights routed and begins to dig the trench that will feed electricity to us. Meanwhile, Robert and Brandon choose our waterfall stone for its varied colors, textures, and overall shape and size. And Robert, Clay, and Brandon are excited about a cave they thought up to put on the back of the waterfall stone. A tree stump with a lot of character is added to the second pond, and it's anchored with a stone. Our pumps are assembled and ready, and hoses are connected. It won't be long before the final touches are added. Then it's discovered our waterfall stone needs a little more coring.
What he's doing is we've already had this rock running before, the 2-inch. Well, we're going to bump it up to a 3-inch to be able to force more water out of it. If we tried to run the same pump in this hole, it would shoot out rather than flowing out. And so we're opening it up a little bit.
Break these pallets of flagstone down. Don't try to assemble it as it comes off the pallet. You're only going to have 4 or 5 to choose from. If you break them all down, you'll have 50 or 60 pieces to choose from, and you'll find the right piece. You won't have to cut or break it, okay? Okay, cool. Whenever you do a pathway or a patio, always use some big, heavy pieces of stone. You won't have to worry about them shifting over time. The bigger and the heavier the pieces, the more stable and solid they'll be in the long run.
So what we got going on now is we have some accent stones that we're putting in this bank right here. It does two things. It gives it a natural look, and it also supports all the soil that we built up. If you don't put a lot of stones in here, it's going to erode away after time. So we're trying to match up lines with our big stones so it looks like this really beautiful natural mountain.
Now, notice what we're doing is we're adding creek run to fill up all the voids. And if you look at the water, you'll see how the water is staying up on top and traveling down. That's exactly what it's doing. It's traveling on down. Because all this creek run is filling up all the voids, sealing them all up.
The last two general sizes in our 4-stone method are small, light rocks such as this 1.5-inch rock, then gravel like pea gravel and fines. Creek Run is a very effective combo of the latter two with a few surprises thrown in. Fossils, for example.
The last 10%, 20% always comes together really quick. This is the exciting part of the project, but it all comes together. It's kind of like gelling. It's the last pieces of the puzzle. This is going to be awesome. Wait till you see the unveiling. We are so excited. Oh, let me test this rock.
What is this curious metal line and electric apparatus doing in a water feature? It's a surprise for Donna and Jerry they'll never suspect. See what it is and the reveal party when Natural Waterfalls continues. Welcome back to Natural Waterfalls. What is the one thing you don't expect to be in the middle of something so profoundly wet as a waterfall?
I dig it, man. Look at that.
Fire. Fire and water. We're betting Jerry and Donna will love their feature. Finishing touches are everywhere now. A lot of material is needed near completion of a project like this, so deliveries are still being made. As final plantings transform the feature, the Super Buggy arrives, provided by No Limits Power Sports. The buggy will ferry our soon-to-be surprised hosts, Jerry and Donna, to their new water feature. Robert does final cleanup as hulking machines pull material out to make way for the party, which has already begun in the house. Jerry and Donna's feature is revealed closer to dark because of the surprise. They'll see their exotic feature first in the bright lights of the Super Buggy, then against night's rich navy blue curtain.
Well, come on, take a look.
This is nothing I expected.
Not at all.
Wow.
Now, I want you to watch the waterfall real carefully. I have had more fun during this project. Yeah.
What do you guys think?
What do you guys think? Huh? Let's give everybody a hand. Great job. Hands for you guys for coming. Without you, it wouldn't happen.
I thought this was it.
I know. And wait, it gets go on around there. Go on around.
Thrilled, Donna and Jerry are off to see the extra pond they didn't expect, and more. In fact, everyone had a great time. By the way, Scholl Brothers Barbecue provided the sumptuous meal. Even Robert had a surprise when an old friend he hadn't seen in over 25 years dropped by to say hello. And of course, none of this would be possible without our fine Natural Waterfalls sponsors.
Now, you know, in all of our water features that we've ever built, we always have something very exciting happening 360 degrees all the way around it. So whether you build a big one or a small one, keep that in mind. Now, we've got something that we haven't done before on this project that's so exciting that I'm going to share with you right now. We've got a cave that goes all the way from the back to the front. And when the fire machine goes off, it's absolutely gorgeous. Come on, let's take a look at it. Look at how this cave goes all the way through, and you see the water on the other side. You know, this reminds me, when I was a kid growing up in school, I used to go down into the Rio Grande Canyon, and there was a cave called Hermit's Cave. And it had an entrance much like this. It was very small to get into it, but when you got in, it was a huge cavern. It was just absolutely gorgeous. That brings back a lot of memories. Now let's go take a look at some of the other sides. Now over here on one of the walls and on the side, we've created a really neat stone rock ledge where it looks like it's all one piece, but it has multiple stones in it. If you look, you always want to match the outside and inside lines with the next stone that you're matching it up to. And as you can see, it appears to be one stone, but it's not. Come take a closer look. As you can see here, this stone ends right here, this stone ends right here. So you're matching this nice line, and you're matching this line here. And look how these two stones come together and give the impression that it's one stone. But look, it's not, it's two. Now, I see Donna and Jerry. Let's go say hi. Hey, Donna, Jerry. Hey, Dennis.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Dennis, how you doing?
Doing great.
Hey, what you got there?
Well, I got some koi here.
Oh, those are beautiful. Look at all the different colors. Now, you've got them in a bag. What are we going to do next to get them into the pond?
Well, I'm going to set them here in the pond right now and give them a little time to acclimate the temperature from the water that's in the bag to the water that's in the pot and everything else, so the fish don't get shocked when they get released into the water.
So is that for making sure that the water temperatures are pretty close to the same? You wouldn't want to take them from one extreme to the other? Is that what it's about?
That's correct.
I got you. Okay.
Shock
Cool.
fish.
Cool. Isn't this cool? Look at all these fish. Okay. Follow the leader and they're all kind of just hanging out. Dennis, thank you so much. This has been a nice addition to this pond. And you know, they're going to get big and they're going to grow and then we're going to add a bunch of plants. This is going to be a lot of fun. This project has been great and everybody that was involved, we had such a great time. I'm going to look forward to seeing you next time on Natural Waterfalls. God bless. Look at them down there.